So, hi, Michael. I'm very excited to talk to you today. So, you've organized the first Bitcoin conference devoted to iGaming. So, you must be a strong Bitcoin enthusiast, and you've started to accept payments in Bitcoin from advertisers and exhibitors.
Yep.
So, what are your expectations for that?
Well, we certainly have. Bitcoin and iGaming seem to be a pretty natural fit. It's a currency that's really designed for the web, where a lot of people would argue that Visa and MasterCard were designed for physical transactions, and argue that they're really not that well suited for the web and quite expensive to transact online with. So Bitcoin makes a lot of sense because it's actually much, much cheaper to transact with, and it's much quicker in the settlements there, and you don't have any issues with chargebacks and all the other things that happen when you're using a credit card online. So because we saw this kind of natural kind of gel between iGaming and Bitcoin, we decided we'd put a show on. Now, in the meantime, we got really into Bitcoin ourselves, and we started looking around. And when you look at all the companies that are accepting it, Virgin Galactic, Expedia, I mean, it just makes sense that we should be transacting in Bitcoin ourselves. It is just a really convenient way to transact online. So we actually started taking payments for Bitcoins for our shows and for other things like that.
But it's quite difficult to predict Bitcoin rate, and aren't you afraid to lose money, or you are constantly changing the price in Bitcoins for advertisers?
Yeah, actually, no. We're not worried at all, because a lot of Bitcoin exchanges now, or Bitcoin payment providers, will actually exchange for you at the spot rate, whatever the cost in pounds or dollars or whatever currency you're selling in, right there. So you actually take no currency risk whatsoever. So as soon as the Bitcoins come in, we convert them into a fiat currency. And then we take absolutely zero risk whether they go up or down, because we're getting paid the exact same price that we're charging.
And what are your predictions for this year for Bitcoin and iGaming?
For Bitcoin and iGaming, well, a lot of things are happening. A lot has to do with regulation. Regulation out of the United States at the moment is very interesting. It's something to watch. There's sort of a movement right now to have the U.S. government get involved in Bitcoin exchanges and to license Bitcoin exchanges. That could be a game changer. I think the idea is that it was really meant to be not regulated by any one particular government, or else it might incur some of the same problems that fiat currency incurs, and might have a little bit too much oversight for the community that likes to use it. That might drive people to other cryptocurrencies, I'm not sure. But then again, it might help mainstream adoption. So it's definitely an area to watch. But specifically for Bitcoin and iGaming, I don't think we're going to see any regulation out of the United States within 2015. It's a big can of worms, the Bitcoin, and I think we have a little bit of time before we have to really worry about something being regulated.
And what about the European Payment Service Directive that is to prohibit Bitcoin as a medium of exchange? Will it happen?
It's quite possible. Again, it's always a space to watch, but when you look at Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, I think you find a community that's really into their anonymity and really into creating something that's a distributed network. So yes, if you specifically look at Bitcoin, people will probably monitor and police Bitcoin if those regulations do go through. But I do think there will be cryptocurrencies for people that want to use cryptocurrencies in the way they were designed that will emerge and kind of be under the radar. So I think it's something that's, it's a brand new world, really, the cryptocurrency world. And any kind of over-regulation, I think, will create a negative reaction with the communities that want to use them. So I think that sensible regulation is kind of the only viable way long-term forward.
And if you were to speak to Gambling Post in a year's time, what do you think? What industry issues or topics would be discussing?
Well, I'll tell you what. We just had a nice conversation about the secondary lottery market, and we had a presentation about that just now. And I think that for me, that's probably the most exciting thing in 2015. It's existed for a long while. It's not been really well organized, but what's interesting about it is you have a very conservative lottery market, which is separate from this iGaming market, separate from the wider affiliate market, and separate from the wider internet and e-commerce markets. So they're going to be very slow to react to bringing anything online or doing it in any kind of a big splash way. Whereas the secondary market allows the more aggressive affiliates and more aggressive e-marketers to kind of go out with that kind of a product and offer it to a population that really wants it. So I could see that That's going to be big in the iGaming space. That's going to be big in the general affiliate space. And eventually, in a few years, I think the lottery markets themselves are going to really catch up. But this is going to force them to really step up their game in the digital world.
Kind of a new vibe here.
Yeah, it's kind. I think we have a lot of changes going on. I mean, we've got a lot of stability with licensing right now, but there's a lot of new products coming out that are still kind of exciting and new, and that's what I think attracts a lot of the people to this space. That there's still some areas where you're forging new paths, and I think that's what we see there.
Mm-hmm. And the last question: what are your predictions for this year? What challenges would affiliate industry would have?
Challenges. The poker industry is getting increasingly difficult. And when you look at the poker industry, you find an industry where liquidity is key. So I think what we've identified in industries where liquidity is key in gaming, companies get big and someone wins. And when someone wins, it becomes very difficult for an affiliate to either bring in new players because the company that's won already has them, or to convert them from that winner to other players. So I think that's going to be a little bit disruptive, and I think poker is probably a little less exciting this year than it has been in years past. So that'd be a problem.
Thank you. So let's see what happens next this year. Thank you so much for your time and for a wonderful networking event.
And thanks for coming to the London Affiliate Conference.